Tampa Bay on a 23-yard field goal by Dave Green, leading St. Louis 17-7. Here it is 3-3 as we start the fourth quarter. 3rd and 1 for the Giants on the Bear 21-yard line. The Giants, staying on the ground, have really moved the Bears in this quarter. They've rushed now for 175 yards. Larry Csonka dragged down by Tom Hicks. In comparison to the Giants 175 rushing, the Bears only 43 yards on the ground. The big runners, Coulter for 77 yards and Csonka for 67 yards. And Walter Payton 12 carries, 12 yards.
Have you seen Csonka slip at all yet?
Amazing.
Everybody else slipping, not Csonka.
So there it is. You can see he's a little better than 5 yards a carry. 1st and 10 on the Bear 19-yard line. Csonka, and this time he ran right into Mike Hartenstein, and that was the end of the trip. Big number 73 hammered him, and Csonka is finally stopped. It was Coulter who did most of the running for the Giants in the first half, and it has been Csonka who has been doing the bulk of the running in the second half.
Well, the Giants came off a tough loss to Philadelphia last week. Their defense limited the Philadelphia Eagles to a total net yardage of 108 yards and still lost the ball game.
It is 2nd and 9. The ball on the Chicago 18-yard line. 13:45 left in the game in a 3-3 tie, and a must-win for Chicago. Larry Csonka inside Spencer's block, and he just runs over Virgil Livers, and he leaves Livers in the ice and snow at the 7-yard line. Look at Virgil.
Everybody's been out after Virgil Livers today.
Csonka just crushed him. Livers. Look at Virgil.
Everybody's been out after Virgil Livers today.
Csonka just crushed him. Livers weighs 178. Csonka weighs 235, and watch the collision.
And watch the forearm shiver with his right arm by Larry Csonka. Big hole there, as you see, and look at this. Straight over the top for Virgil Livers.
Boy, you talk about a mismatch in size. There was a great block by Spencer on Muckensturm, too, as Virgil Livers comes off the field. If you watch Spencer, the remaining back, watch him kick Muckensturm out of the play, and then Csonka lowers the boom on Livers.
1st and goal on the Bear 7-yard line, and this crowd acting as if the Giants are going into the bowls. Spencer and Csonka, and it's Csonka following Spencer, and he gets to the 5-yard line, a pickup of 2. So it'll be 2nd and goal from the 5.
What was it that George Allen said yesterday? This time of year, teams win because of determination and character, not necessarily by talent.
Well, the Giants are certainly souped up and fired up, reflected in the stats, but the ball game is even 3-3.
And I don't believe they've thrown a pass in this drive, have they?
No, they haven't. Csonka has now rushed for 81 yards. 2nd and goal from the 5, but the backs are split. He usually passes out of this formation. Let's see. Nope, it's going to be Willie Spencer. And that time it was Csonka blocking for Spencer, and he got inside the 5.
They like the combination of Spencer and Csonka in there in the short yardage. Spencer hadn't carried the ball that much this year, but he has managed 3 touchdowns so far. There's Plank, Fensick.
They call it the Meadowlands here in the Garden State of New Jersey, and the Meadowlands are covered with ice and sleet. And the Giants have it 3rd and goal on the Bear 2-yard line. 11:55 left in the game. Spencer and Csonka, back of Pisarcik. Marshall in motion to the left. And Pisarcik throwing in the end zone to Spencer, and he dropped it. Willie Spencer had a touchdown pass and dropped it.
Oh, that could loom big, too. 3 points, they could get that back, but scoring a touchdown on a field like this is a big, big difference today.
The Giants have dropped a good 7 passes on Pisarcik today.
This game could be about 21-7 New York, 21-3 New York, as that ball was right in his hands. and he dropped it.
If you look in the paper tomorrow, they'll tell you that Pisarcik is 5 for 20. Don't believe it.
Right about now, Pisarcik saying about the only thing I can count on now is my fingers.
So Joe Danilo will try and kick it through. It's up. It is good. And the Giants, trying to pull the upset, are leading the Bears 6-3 with 11 minutes and 39 seconds left to go in the ball game. The Bears have their backs against the wall.
This year, when you step out on the town, don't just drive. Take off in the 1978 Thunderbird. With its distinctive look and size, its Thunderbird quality and comfort. And it comes at a down-to-earth price of $58.08 with automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, V8 and more. Flight test the 1978 Thunderbird. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Mr. Chester.
Wow, hi, kids.
We want a camera. It's a present for Mom.
Well, how much do you have?
This.
Well, your mom will like a camera that's real simple. Polaroid's one step. You never focus. Just point it, press the button, and the motor hands you the picture. The SX70 colors come up sharp and clear in minutes.
Boy, Mom's gonna be surprised. We'll take it.
Polaroid's One Step, the simplest camera ever.
CBS Sports presents the Cotton Bowl, where the #1 ranked Texas Longhorns with Heisman Trophy winner Earl Campbell take on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. That's the Cotton Bowl, January 2nd.
A 19-yard field goal by Joe Danilo, and the Giants are leading 6-3. A knuckleball down the right side, fielded by Len Walderscheid at the 25, and Walderscheid has found an opening, and Danilo grabbed him. He fumbled. Let's see who recovered. Danilo grabbed him. It looked like Danilo was going to recover, but the Bears got it back on a great return by Len Walderscheid, and the ball was finally recovered by the Bears.
They don't want to kick the ball to Walter Payton, so they're kicking the Squibblers, and anyway, there was a fumble, and the Bears recovered. They have it first down.
Campbell recovered the ball for Chicago. A big play, and the Bears now in perfect field position, 1st and 10 on the Giant 37. Bo Rather in a slot left inside James Scott. Slipping before the handoff was Walter Payton, and he just did get back and across the line of scrimmage. He slipped as he started to break for the handoff. Green Bay leading San Francisco 16-7 in the second quarter. And a big game here, Houston. James Young just sacked Kenny Anderson in the end zone for a safety, and Houston leading Cincinnati 15-6. It is 2nd and 8 Chicago on the Giant 35-yard line. Rivera is in a slot left inside Scott. Robin Earl is in there, and Earl will carry. And he's a big back. Robin Earl is listed at 242. Johnny Morris, what do you think he weighs?
I'd give him 248, 250, probably the biggest running back in the NFL.
He's 6'5", a rookie out of Washington, only 22 years old. Robin Earl.
That's no running back. That's a lineman. Put on the wrong jersey.
If he doesn't make it a running back, you can put him at left tackle or something like that.
They're going with the same concept. Get the big backs in there and run straight ahead. Chicago offensive line came off the ball that time.
All right, 3rd and 4 from the Giant 31-yard line. And Avellini looks and dumps it to Walter Payton, and Ray Rhodes had him by the ankle and brought him down. So Payton was just a sitting duck for Ray Rhodes.
I'm telling you, when Payton comes out of that backfield, someone's keying on him. Ray Rhodes, that wasn't his coverage at all over that time, but he had his eyes on Payton the whole time, and that's what a guy like Walter Payton has to face every week.
The boys on the bench sitting on those specially constructed benches to stay warm, but most of the Giants are not sitting down. They're up and moving. This is no place to just sit.
The Bears are in a punting situation. They have Parsons in, but remember, he is 6 for 6 over the last 2 years on fake punts with passes. I don't know if the Bears would try and do it in this kind of situation. It's a good one, except the fact that the turf is so bad, they may try and put the Giants in bad field position.
And the Giants are looking for him to do just that, too.
He's going to try and kick it out from the 40, and it's going to go end over end and will go out somewhere around the 10-yard line. They will spot it on about the 11. So the Giants take over, 1st and 10 on their own 11-yard line. 9:26 left to go in the game. 6-3 New York.
Honey, is this homeowner's insurance high?
I don't know. Think it's too much?
How would I know?
Compare with Allstate.
Compare?
Bring in your policy and compare rates. If you have a good deal, we'll tell you. But for many, chances are we've got a better deal.
We've got a better deal.
Allstate might save you some money, but you'll never know until you bring in your policy and compare.
Oh, that's a good deal.
When you want to save on homeowners insurance, Allstate wants to help.
That's a promise from us, the good hands people.
Radio Shack has a great space-age gift for kids at a down-to-earth price. The original Space Patrol walkie-talkie. Just $14.95 a pair, and they really work. Crystal-controlled and battery-operated, just like Dad's portable CB. And they're built in Radio Shack's own electronics factory. So this Christmas, thrill your kids with the $14.95 a pair Space Patrol. Only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
The ground crew trying to clear off the hash marks down on this snow-covered field. 1st and 10, and they spotted the ball on the Giant 12-yard line. Coder is in there now along with Willie Spencer. And Doug Coder runs into people as he picks up maybe a yard. So Zonka, who was really doing the carrying and the blocking in the 3rd quarter, is rested now. And for the Chicago Bears and the New York Giants, this is what's left of the year, and whether there will be anything else left for the Bears is still up in the air. A roar as Coder goes out, and he's carried for 79 yards, and the roar again as Zonka comes in. Zonka has carried for 81 yards. 2nd and 10 from the 12. This time Spencer carries behind Zonka's blocks, and Willie Spencer moves the ball out across the 15-yard line. The Giant bench huddling to stay warm over those heaters and leading 6-3. 8 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the snow in New Jersey.
Interesting call coming up now. 3rd down and about 6. Will the Giants take the chance deep in their own territory to keep the drive alive, or will they run the ball again?
They'll throw it. They got nothing to lose. They ain't going nowhere except home for Christmas dinner. They throw it.
3rd and 7 from the 15. Robinson is wide left. Marshall is on a wing outside tight end Gary Shirk on the right side. Play action fake to Spencer. And a slip ball, and he dropped it. He was in the act of passing. The arm was coming forward, and that icy ball just slipped out of Joe Pisarcik's hands. Falling backwards down there to try and help him was Chandler.
Take a look at Pisarcik now. Let's see where we see it slip off. Good protection there.
There it is.
Say, I'm going to throw my funny pass at you. That'd be one of Kilmer's better throws, wouldn't it? Billy, I know you're listening. I'm just kidding with you.
Len Waldershot, who made a fine return, fumbled and was saved embarrassment by the recovery by Gary Campbell, is in the safety position, and Dave Jennings ready to root it out of there. He'll be kicking from his own 5-yard line. Low snap, but he got it away. And it is not a particularly good kick as it goes out of bounds, and the Bears will put it in play just inside the Giant 40-yard line. They'll have it 1st and 10. 7 minutes and 49 seconds left to go in the ball game. And the Bears having to go to the whip now. They're trailing by 3. Giants 6, Chicago 3.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find our name is known. You can trust a Delco.
Thanks, Delco.
Delco Freedom Battery. When things are getting thick and you want to start real quick, you can trust a Delco.
Thanks, Delco.
Delco Freedom Battery. They've got the stuff when the starting's tough. You can trust a Delco.
Thanks, Delco.
Delco Freedom Battery. Delco Freedom.
Thanks, Delco.
Sir, what's the hurry?
Going to rent a car.
Oh, well, you don't have to run.
Gotta run.
Oh, no, if you had an Avis Wizard number, you could walk.
Walk.
Call toll-free and let our Wizard system do the running. Just show a major credit card, license, sign, and get the car.
I don't have to run through airports?
Not with Avis.
I can walk through airports.
We try harder, Avis. Avis, we don't know another way.
I'm walking through airport.
7 minutes and 49 seconds in the ball game. 6-3 New York. Avellini hands to big Robin Earl, who ran right by Troy Archer, but subpoenaed to come into a Giant team meeting, and down he goes. Take another look at big Robin.
We can see the blocking. Now watch Troy Archer, though, 77. He had him, and then he looked at his hands afterward and said, where was he? He was looking right. He looked at his hands. He didn't look anywhere else.
George Martin had to meet big Robin Earl head on to slow him down. That had to hurt. 2nd and 7 from the 37. Fake to Payton. And a completed pass to James Scott before the Giants swallow him up on the 10-yard line. A big play by James Scott.
All right, if the Bears deserve to win, this would be a good time to do it. We're talking about character now. This is their opportunity to go ahead. James Scott, then naturally go, when you're in the biggest trouble, you go to your biggest help. James Scott has been, well, he's been an outstanding receiver for him this year, nearly doubling the catches of any other receiver.
Stanky slipped off his head, and so Carson and Van Pelt had to bring him down. 1st and 10 from the 11. Scott goes wide left, rather right. And Robin Earl goes to the 5-yard line.
Where'd they get him, Johnny? He's a rookie, but where'd they get him?
He was drafted, came out of Washington State.
Came out big.
And no doubt playing because Roland Harper came in here sick, played as long and as well as he could, and finally, bothered by the flu, had to give way to Robin Earl.
I said Washington State. I meant Washington. So Robin would really kill me after the game.
That's close enough, oh. He looks
2nd
good.
and 4 from the 5. Robin Earl. And he's in there. Touchdown, Chicago.
All right. Okay.
So the rookie out of Washington comes pounding through for the touchdown to get the Bears out in front. It is 9-6 with 6 minutes and 2 seconds left.
And watch that Bear offensive line block. Albrecht, Latta, and then number 39, Robin Earl, just pounds his way through. And that's where that 250 pounds comes in handy, just like Zonka. There's Robin Earl, and it's probably the happiest day of his life because his professional football career is very young. A rookie out of Washington, as I said. And people thought that he might be a little bit too slow at 250 pounds, but he runs straight ahead with the best of them.
The other rookie who did a marvelous job was Ted Albrecht, who threw the block to open it up. And Albrecht, a rookie out of California. So now they'll try to make it 10-6 Chicago. And Thomas has it blocked. And so the Giants are still alive, trailing by a field goal, would you believe, with 6 minutes and 2 seconds left to go in the ballgame.
Uh-oh. Look out.
So Bob Thomas hit the upright on a field goal attempt and missed, and now has a point after block. And for Bob Thomas, he was 27 out of 29 until that one was smothered.
Left side of your screen, whoever it was that blocked it, comes in there clean.
Look at Jones get up.
75. George Martin, I believe, blocked it. Let's take a look and see if we can pick out who blocked it there. 75, is that right?
He came in from the left side.
Yep.
And it was not Jones who jumped up in the middle. I can't quite make up.
Yeah,
it was Martin that got him. It was Martin.
Sure.
So Martin keeps the Giants very much in the ball game, within field goal range of tying. Thomas will be kicking, and standing deep, squinting up into the snow, Emery Moorhead and Bob Hammond. Now let's see what Thomas does about kicking. Up front for the Giants, you have Watkins and Coder and Spencer in case he comes up short. And they've also added Harold Hart. And it's to the right side. Willie Spencer is going to take it on his 16-yard line to the 20, 25, and knocked out of bounds and fumbled out of bounds on the hit. And holding his hands high in the air was Craig Clemens, who administered the hit. With 5 minutes and 54 seconds to go, it is 9-6 Chicago. Remember, next Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, CBS Sports Spectacular, featuring the World Professional Skateboard Speed Championships and the European Figure Skating Championship. We've got some figure skating here in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. 9-6 Chicago. 1st and 10 Giants on their own 28. Pisarcik over the middle. He's got Hammond. And Hammond just did pick up the first down. He almost ran away from the first down. He was going to backtrack to get a better angle, thought better of it, and made the first down by a foot.
Bobby Hammond has been so valuable to this Giant team this year. He's the leading rusher on the team, good return man, and as you see right there coming out of the backfield, underneath those linebackers, a pretty capable receiver. Well, he seems he's lost it there, and he's going to get it back, and that's just exactly what he did.
He just did get to the 40-yard line for the first down. 5:19 left to go in the game. Marshall is right. Robinson was left. Over the middle, no good. Intended for Bob Hammond. And right there, Doug Buffon to put a squeeze on him, and John McVay, hoping that his Giants can finish up the year on a winning note, losing a heartbreaker last week to the Eagles.
He was a player under Woody Hayes and Ara Parsegian, McVay was at one time.
And Atlanta making life miserable for Hank Stram and the New Orleans Saints, 28-7 in the fourth.
Hank is low sick over that.
Green Bay leading by 2 at halftime over San Francisco.
Number 79.
A holding penalty against Mike Gibbons of the Giants, just picked up as a free agent. So Gibbons, because of the holding penalty, the ball is spotted to the 30. Meanwhile, if you're not playing, it is time to practice, and that's exactly what Dave Jennings is doing. He's been called on to punt today, and he has punted well. 1st and 20 from the Giant 30-yard line. Both backs come out, and the pass to Robinson. And Virgil Livers finally puts him out of bounds, but the Giants still need about 6 more yards to get a first down. However, they picked up a bunch in a hurry. 4:56 left to go.
There's no question that the Giant offensive line has done well on pass blocking. Pisarcik has had plenty of time to throw the ball. Robinson made a nice move here, and not enough to get the first down, but when you call that deep out pattern, that hook out, you can't go too much further than that. He got about 15, 16 yards out of it.
Coming into today's game, the Giants have only averaged well less than 100 yards passing. Pisarcik throwing the ball well.
2nd down, a little more than 5 to go for a first down. The ball shy of the 45-yard line. Pisarcik, again, high pass off the hands of Doug Coder. So Coder, who has run well, he has run for 79 yards, got his hands on it, couldn't hold it. Pisarcik is now 7 for 25.
The Bears have been dropping off quite a bit. The best thing to do all year against them on this kind of a situation is to throw underneath. They've done very little blitzing. In fact, neither team has blitzed very much today. Both teams have been going with the basic front four on defense.
3rd and 5, just shy of the Giant 45-yard line. Marshall right, Robinson is left, Shirk the tight end on the right side. Pisarcik gets his man, and it's Marshall, and he picked up the big first down to keep the drive alive. Big Ed Marshall at 6'5" was right there to handle it.
Take a look at Joe as he steps up inside a strong rush by the Bears on the left side. Hargenstein. Look how he avoids him right there. Drills it. Good strong arm.
Right to the Bear 40-yard line.
Put it on my numbers and it won't drop but 1 out of 3.
Talking about numbers, they're covered up because of the snow now. 1st and 10 on the Bear 40. 3:47 left in the game. 9-6 Chicago. Pisarcik to Coder. And Coder will go out of bounds. Gary Fensick over there to give him a last-second shove. He did not get to the 35-yard line. They'll spot it at the 37. There you see it. A tale of 3 cities. New York trying to finish on a high note. The Bears trying to make the playoffs. And quietly on the sidelines in Washington, the Redskins hoping for the Giant upset.
And if you don't think that extra point was important, you know, now they can get a field goal and send it into overtime, and that would be worse for the Bears because the Bears must win.
2nd and 7 on the Bear 37. Coder on a draw. And he's still on his feet as he got across the 30-yard line. First down for Doug Coder and the Giants.
Beautiful execution by Doug Van Horen, Carl Chandler, and Jim Gibbons in the middle there. Look at Chandler, 61, blocking back. Full block there by Gibbons. Hole opening up.
Boy, did Gibbons come back on that trap, didn't he? Oh, what a trap.
So Gibbons making a big play. Remember, he was called for holding. That set the Giants back earlier. He made up for it that time. 1st and 10 on the Bear 28. Bob Hammond. Hammond at 5'10", 170 is virtually swallowed up as he hit the line of scrimmage. He'll spot it shy of the 25-yard line. There's Jack Pardee and all of the hopes of the Chicago Bears on the line here. It is 9-6 Chicago, 2 minutes and 34 seconds. In fact, the clock is still running. 2nd and 8 on the Bear 27. Robinson wide left, Marshall wide right. Both backs go out. And Pisarcik will run. And for a slide, I believe he'll have the first down.
Well, he could be hurt. He stopped all of a sudden. That sliding came to an abrupt halt. He could be hurt.
Joe Pisarcik shaken up noticeably as he gets up slowly, and they're going to bring the chains in because when he hit, he skidded, and the officials will have to set the ball down as we take another look. The travels of Joe Pisarcik.
Old Joe reported this year about 240 pounds. Everybody thought he was a laugh as a quarterback, but he shed about 25 pounds or so. Look at this. He comes to a stop in a hurry.
It is just short. You might have noticed Gary Shirk just did peel off. Had Shirk thrown his block, it would have been a clip and it would have ruined everything. But the tight end of the Giants at the last second peeled off his block.
That reflects good coaching too, Ben.
And here come the horses. The horses, Willie Spencer and Larry Zonka. In a 3rd and 1 with 2 minutes left in the game. They are not going to get a play off yet. The 2-minute warning is here. So 2 minutes left. The Giants 6, the Bears 9, the season on the line.
America's best-selling new car in history. The new Ford Fairmont. What's behind Fairmont's success? Fairmont's roominess. More room for the money than any other car. Fairmont's mileage. Highest EPA mileage rating of any midsize car. Fairmont's price. Lowest sticker price of any midsize car. Test drive America's best-selling new car ever at your Ford dealer, where the better ideas keep coming.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Where you been? Well, it wasn't easy getting tickets for this game.
Hey, Bob. Eddie, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you got and a bottle of Lowenbrau.
Steak and Lowenbrau. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrau.
Here's to the chef.
Here's to the bartender.
There's Jerry Golston getting ready just in case because Pisarcik was shaken up on that long run. However, after they rubbed Pisarcik down a little bit, Joe is back in the ball game along with Spencer, 27, Zonka, 39. 3rd and 1 on the Bear 19. 9-6 Chicago. 2 minutes left to go in the game. Zonka. Boy, the Bears were on the move as Zonka was.
That defense of the Chicago Bears met the moment. It's going to be so close. Depends on where the official, I don't believe. Well, that second effort might have got it. He didn't need but a foot.
And this is one disadvantage of a runner like Zonka. If you get the smaller back that can fly up and over the line, you know, you can fly for a half a yard or a yard. But Zonka, they hit him there. If they submarine, they can stop him.
Now it is 4th and 1. So the Giants will not go for the field goal to tie with 1:43 left. They're going for the first down.
It's character time for the Chicago Bears.
Zonka and Spencer. It's going to be Spencer. And he's still on his feet. And at the last moment got the first down. Willie Spencer was stopped and then fought it off to get it. Big play.
Great effort there by Willie Spencer.
I believe he was stopped, and I believe it was Don Rees, 57, that was in there that got the hit on him. He had his hands on him, and Spencer just didn't want to go down and got through for the first down. A great play.
The ball on the Chicago 16-yard line, 1 minute left. 9-6 Chicago, and the Giants trying to ruin the year for the Bears. Pisarcik looking to the right side, and he's got Moorhead as he slides out of bounds at the 10-yard line. So he picked up a quick 6.
Look at Joe Pisarcik, just down and out. He wanted to get the clock stopped, take the yards necessary to sustain the drive a little further. If they can't score a touchdown, they want to get as close as they can, obviously, for the field goal attempt.
You got to figure they're going to throw the ball, wouldn't you, at this situation with 49 seconds to go?
2nd and 4 from the 10-yard line. Pisarcik looking down the middle. Oh! And he had it and dropped it, which has been the Giants' story today. It appeared as if Marshall had it, and he couldn't hold it.
Oh, don't you know George Allen's sick with him? Perfect pass. Just a little quick post pass over the center there. Pisarcik holding the ball to the last minute till it clears. You saw it.
The ball couldn't be in a better spot. It's unbelievable. The Giants could have 30 points on the board.
Right. Willie Spencer dropped a touchdown pass just moments ago, and now Marshall drops one. It is 3rd and 4 from the 10 with 45 seconds left to go, and the Bears in this cold and ice are sweating it out. Pisarcik looking right to Moorhead. No good. Tried to get Moorhead to the 5-yard line, and so once more they look to a field goal attempt. Joe Danello with 41 seconds left to go. Danello has already kicked a field goal to tie, and then he kicked a field goal to get the Giants out in front. Now he is asked to kick another field goal to tie, and Pardee asking, begging, and exhorting his Bears to hang him.
Don't you know George Allen is probably the only time in his life he doesn't wish Jack Pardee well. Having played for him in Los Angeles and Washington Redskins.
They spot the ball on the 18. It will be a 28-yard field goal attempt by Joe Danello. It's down, it's up, it is good! With 38 seconds left to go in the ball game. The Giants 9, the Bears 9, and they're still alive in Washington.
Yes, they are, and it looks like we're going to have an overtime game.
Gonna go into overtime a little bit. Haven't been involved in one of those.
Jack Pardee, 41 years old, out of Extra, Iowa, and he is asking the Bears for a little extra today.
And what a job he's done for the Bears. They were 4-10 his first year. Last year they moved up to 7-7, and this year 8-5 going into this last game. It's been a rebuilding program for the Bears, who have been down for so many years, as the Giants have. In fact, the last time that either one of these teams was in a playoff was in the 1963 World Championship game.
Well, it's payoff time, because when the Giants kick off with 38 seconds left to go, it is Walter Payton who is standing on the goal line. Up in front of Payton, you have Len Walderscheid along with Johnny Musso.
They will never kick the ball to Walter Payton.
In the middle, you have Jiggets, you have Roland Harper, who's back in the game again, and Jerry Myers. So we'll see of the 6 who Danello will kick to. Danello on the ground, and it'll be fielded by Johnny Musso. He had a good run earlier in the game. And Musso runs over people and moves it out very well to the 45-yard line. So the Bears now trying to win it in 32 seconds time. 9-9 in the snow, sleet, and hail in New Jersey. The Giant drive, 14 plays, 72 yards, capped by the field goal by Joe Danello to knot it up at 9 apiece.
I want to apologize to people from Alabama. I forgot and inadvertently said Musso was from LSU. He's from Alabama.
Yes, in fact, Bear Bryant said he was the greatest back he ever coached. 1st and 10 from the 45. Robin Earl and Walter Payton, and Avellini going to put it up. No good. Trying to come back on the ball. Diving was Bo Rather in the slush, but he couldn't get it. which, come to think of it, is a pretty good play, a comeback pass, because the defenders, no way they can stop and come back with you.
If we can get the offensive receiver to make that cut.
Right. If he could come back also. I know Bob Avellini, you don't think he's excited. He's from Long Island, of course, and then played at the University of Maryland. He had to get 60 tickets for relatives for this game.
Steve Rivera is wide right. James Scott wide left. 2nd and 10 from the 45. A draw to Walter Payton. And Payton is finally grabbed by Clyde Powers and Bill Bryant. And down he goes. He picked up the first down with 17 seconds left to go. And he's just shy of the Giant 40-yard line.
Oh, and look at his main man out there, too. Noah Jackson and Revy Sori. Watch Jackson come into the thing, the leader of the pack. I guess he's, look at the determination here. Those legs never stop. They just keep churning. Look at this. Look at Noah down there trying to help him. The answer to Reggie McKenzie, I guess.
And not a bad play when you consider it was a passing situation. You give it to a guy like Payton, and he can make a run look like a pass. And you get down there 20 yards down the field. Now the strategy session with Sid Gilman, Jack Pardee, and Bob Avellini, who has those big mittens. Notice the mittens he has on to keep those hands warm now, because he very likely will have to throw one pass. The Bears are going to go for the one completion, and then the field goal. They have 17 seconds to go. And which is the proper play? That is the question.
How many timeouts they got left?
2, I believe.
2. Got
The
time
ball
for
on
completion.
The Giant 41-yard line, and the decision has been made by Pardee and Avellini. The Giants, meanwhile, making a couple of changes. They bring in Brian Kelly and Troy Archer, and the Bears, with 2 timeouts left, put it in play 1st and 10 on their own 41. Avellini looking down the middle, but Mendenhall has him and takes him down at the 46-yard line of Chicago. And Mendenhall is pointing. He is furious. Now Noah Jackson tries to be the peacemaker. And John Mendenhall saying, I want a little of you.
Bob Avellini was kind of saying the same thing. He is probably the most feisty quarterback I've ever seen. Watch Avellini as he goes back. Take a peek at Mendenhall as he gets by Revy Sori and puts the clamps on Avellini and tries to rip the ball loose at the same time. And this is where Avellini says, what are you doing to me? Down he goes, and the ball is loose, and Mendenhall is after the ball, and Avellini obviously thought that Mendenhall was piling onto him after he had thrown him for the loss.
So there you see the Bears, having taken a timeout, have one precious timeout left, and precious has to be the word to describe time remaining in the game. 12 seconds. It is 2nd and 19 for Chicago, and the ball will be spotted at midfield. Avellini has a 2nd and 19. It is a remarkable thing. You can understand the Bears. The Giants have been playing with tremendous emotion since the opening kickoff. But of course, here in New York and in Chicago, this is a great rivalry that goes back to 1925. And one reminder in the waning seconds, I'm sure taking in everything, George Halas, 10 years ago yesterday, coached the last Chicago Bear victory under the Halas regime, and we would like to salute him today.
And beat the Atlanta Falcons in that game.
And it was the last winning season that the Bears have had since 1967 when George Halas retired. They were 7-6-1 that year.
2nd and 19 from midfield. Latta is in a flex to the right. The tight end loosened up. And the pass is dropped by Bryant. They were going for Latta, and Bill Bryant couldn't hold it. He almost picked it off.
Latta's made some big plays for the Chicago Bears this year, has he not, Johnny?
First time we've seen him come off the line today.
Yes, he has caught some real key passes. He hasn't caught a lot of passes, but at one time the Bears were 3-5, losing to Kansas City by 6 points with 3 seconds to go. Latta caught a touchdown pass. The Bears pulled the game out 28-27. Instead of being 3-6, they were 4-5. They have won 5 in a row since. That one play kept the Bears season alive.
3rd and 19 from midfield. 9-9 tie. 7 seconds left, and it's a draw to Walter Payton. He keeps fighting, fumbles, loose ball.
Well, if you don't like the way Walter Payton runs and the effort he puts out, you just don't like runners.
Time has run out in the regulation play, and much to the delight of this crowd that showed up in terrible weather We're going to have some extra football today. 9-9.
And we have a situation where it's just one overtime in regular season, which puts the Chicago Bears on the spot because they must win in order to make the playoffs. If they tied, they would be 8-6-1, and Washington would be in the playoffs with a 9-5 record.
So the captains will be called in, and as we do, we would like to repeat, in this 9-9 tie, there has been one touchdown, that by Robin Earl. Otherwise, the game has been decided up to this by field goals, Dinello and Thomas. And Dinello missed one that was blocked. Thomas had one blocked and also one that hit the uprights. And now we go into overtime, and of course the field goal becomes a tremendous weapon.
Now what they'll do is reenact the coin flip just like at the start of the game. They'll have both the captains come out there. They're representing both teams.
Doug Van Horn and Jack Gregory and Dan Pfeiffer, along with 3 bundled up other captains for the Bears. Be tough to find it in the snow.
He found it.
And the Giants have won the toss and will elect to receive. So the Giants and Bears go into overtime, a 9-9 tie, and the Giants will get that precious leather first.
Want to cut your fuel bills? Whether your house is new or old, put insulation everywhere. It can save you money. Your attic, you need a 6 to 12-inch blanket of pink Owens Corning fiberglass. Walls, full insulation. Unheated crawl space, insulate below the floor. Live where it's cold, insulate basement walls. See your Owens Corning fiberglass supplier to learn all about insulation. Insulation is cheaper than oil.
Attention shoppers, the new Atari cartridge game is in.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh, George again. Ooh, Atari's AFC battle. It comes with 27 games, but that's just for starters. You can get 9 cartridges, 187 games.
Blackjack.
Oh! I'd like an Atari.
Sorry, only our demonstrators left.
Mine!
No, George. Mine.
The new video computer system by Atari. More games, more fun.
We're all tied 9-9. The Giants have to think to themselves, had any of us caught a pass, particularly Willie Spencer in the end zone or Ed Marshall in the end zone, the Giants would be in the clubhouse with a victory. And for the Bears, they would be picking up the pieces. So the Bears, in a sense, must look and feel fortunate that they are still alive. 9-9 as we're going into overtime.
If a person believed in fate, they'd have to think that the Bears would win this game. Remember, Dinello slipped when he tried to kick that one field goal, and it went bad. And as you mentioned, the 2 touchdown passes, plus the very first pass when Shirk dropped it, he might have gone all the way.
So instead, as you see, they're all tied 9-9. Some of the numbers, Pisharp at 10 for 29. They've dropped about 7 or 8. For 112 yards, he's had 1 intercepted. Avellini is 10 for 16, 103 yards and 1 intercepted. The runners, Coder, averaged better than 7 yards a carry, almost 8 for 87 yards. Zonka, 81 yards, Hammond, 17, and Spencer, 28. And for the Bears, Walter Payton, 36 yards, Harper, 12, and Robin Earl, who scored the only touchdown of the game, has rushed for 22 yards. Doug Buffon, he is the only Bear left who played under Hallis. He is the only Bear who last played here in New York when the Bears came in 1970. Buffon, after 11 years, hoping to be on a winner. What a story he is.
He's played great football for the Bears, and in fact has never even made the Pro Bowl team despite all those years. The Bears only had 1 man just selected to the NFC Pro Bowl team, and they could be in the playoffs. I'd probably be the first team in history to be in the playoffs and have only 1 man on the All-Star squad.
All right,
that would be
Bob
Walter Payton.
Thomas will be kicking off for Chicago. The Giant deep men, Hammond and Moorhead. Up in front, Hart and Watkins. Then you have Coder and Spencer. So if they don't go deep, you still have 4 running backs able to pick up the ball on the 25-yard line for the Giants. So we'll see how Bob Thomas kicks off. And as we have mentioned all day, they have not been able to kick deep, nor have they wanted to kick too deep. But particularly since the kicker is afraid of slipping and falling down, he can't get off his normal kick. It is that treacherous. Here comes Thomas, and here we go. And he drives it to the right side. Hammond on the 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36-yard line. Brought down by Schmidt at the last moment. Terry Schmidt, number 44, brought him down. A big return, and the Giants now will put it in play when they finally spot the ball on our snow-covered field. 9-9, and we're in overtime. Joe Pisarcik, shaken up earlier, but staying in there. Now trying to lead the Giants.
Number 80, declined. First down.
So Bo Rather was guilty of being offsides and getting deep on kickoffs and punts. Rather has really stood out. That time he stood out as a guilty party. Declined. It'll be 1st and 10 on the Giant 35-yard line. Pisarcik has Coder and Hammond. Robinson is wide left. Moorhead is on a wing on the right side. Doug Coder. And Plank has him and brings him down. He was tripped and slowed down by Muckensturm, and look out. Gary Fensick apparently
came in
made
a little bit
Coder
late.
a little angry.
Didn't try to do anything wrong. So I didn't try to. Didn't mean to if I did.
And he's saying that the whistle hadn't blown, and he's right. Actually, the whistle had not blown.
Well, they'll spot the ball just shy of the 35 to make it 2nd on 11 on the 34. Marshall wide right, Robinson left, and the tight end Gary Shirk is on the right side. Over the middle, and it was by Doug Plank. And Plank is going to be wrestled by Doug Coder at the 25-yard line of New York.
What about that? There was one of your blitzes that time. Doug Buffoon was coming on the blitz and made him hurry that throw.
Doug Plank, his 4th interception of the year, and the biggest play of the year for Doug and the Bears.
Watch the left side of your screen. You're seeing throw being hurried there because of a blitz there by number 55, Doug Buffoon. Big plays are made by big players, and Doug Plank is certainly one of them.
Well, he's been great all year, and of course that's, as Vince said, that's probably the biggest interception of his career, because the Bears are in position to get down close for at least the field goal. That's all they would need.
1st and 10 from the 27. Robin Earl.
Oh, good. I think he got it back. He was carrying that ball loose. You could feel a fumble coming up that time.
Robin Earl losing and coming back with the ball. We'll take another look at it.
Look on the exchange. He doesn't have it real well. Just he's holding it poorly there. No good was going to come of that.
So he got across the 25 down to the 23. It is 2nd and 6. 9-9, but the Bears in great position thanks to Plank's interception. Rivera right, Scott left, and here goes Walter Payton. Payton is just across the 20-yard line. Payton helping John Mendenhall to his feet. Mendenhall at 255. Walter said, here, allow me a hand.
He's thinking about the next possible play where Mendenhall may be close.
Yeah, this is no time to get the Giants angry now. 3rd and 3 from the 19, and Rather in a slot left inside Scott. Robin Earl, a big guy, and Harry Carson, number 53, met him head on, and what a wrestling act.
And they got it right in the middle of the field.
Carson stopping as Bob Thomas starts to come on the field.
It looks to be a little short of the 1st down.
They're going to kick it for sure.
Now Thomas comes in with the kicking unit. And so for the Chicago Bears, with 12 minutes and 48 seconds left to go in overtime, we have come to that time.
And Bob Thomas has missed some crucial field goals for the Bears over the past couple of years, and this is a chance for him to really be the hero, to get the clutch field goal to put him in the playoffs. And you imagine he's got to be nervous, especially after having the last one blocked.
The ball's on the 18. They will spot it at the 25. Bob Avellini will hold. The snap, and how important that is, will come from Dan Neal.
The Giants have called timeout, obviously, to have Bob Thomas think about his field goal.
And Bob Thomas is not the only party thinking about that field goal, as all of the Bears, 3 particular men. Dan Neal, number 52, the snapper. Then Bob Avellini, number 7, the holder. And then Bob Thomas, the kicker, because the other 2 is just as important as the guy who kicks it.
I think it's an unusual thing the Giants are doing. They're cleaning out an area where they can get a quick start to try to block it, too.
Well, traction is going to be important for everybody. They can't get a good rush off the line of scrimmage unless it's cleared, so they have the time and they're taking it. Boy, they are really cleaning off the snow.
Jack Pardee, 41, going on old.
Going on old.
Going on old right now. A 25-yard field goal by Bob Thomas can make the Chicago Bears the wild card. Wobbly snap. The kick is up. The kick is no good.
Oh, no.
No good.
Oh.
It was a wobbly snap from center from Dan Neal to Bob Avellini, and Thomas's kick misses, and we're still in the snow in New Jersey. The Giants and the Bears 9.
I was asked to talk about the incredible Black & Decker Workmate. There's almost nothing it can't hold. But the Workmate is so incredible, I'm going to let it do the talking. The Workmate from Black & Decker, and nobody else. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
Dan Neal's low snap from center. A quick setup, however, by Avellini, but Thomas kicked wide left. And the ball game still alive. 1st and 10 Giants on their own 20. New York really dodged a bullet. Doug Coder with Doug Plank on his back. Doug Plank, who appeared to be the man of the hour with that clutch interception, only to see the field goal go down the drain.
There is 12 minutes and 19 seconds left in this overtime period. 12 minutes for the Chicago Bears to get on the board and get into the playoffs.
They're going to spot the ball on the 23-yard line, so it is 2nd and 7. Robinson wide right, Marshall wide left, and Shirk, the tight end, on the left side. Play action fake to Coder. Pisarcik fires right into a group. Myers and Rydaltz in there, and I think it was number 74, Jerry Myers, who got his chest in the way.
I believe you're right. Let's look at him. Jerry Myers is number 74, the left side of your picture there. Gork do his left, right, and back to left again.
Oh,
volleyball,
boy.
anybody, huh?
It's a good thing
Myers,
he has the face mask on, I'll tell you that.
He is 6'4", 245. There's Gary Fencing. And now 3rd and 6 from the 24. Robinson wide left. Hammond and Coder split. And a give to Coder. And he squirts, but not quite enough, it would appear.
All the
Coder just shy.
All the pressure is on the Chicago Bears. As Johnny pointed out, they have to win. They can't tie. And we don't keep on with the second overtime in the regular season play. Just 11 more minutes to go. So the Giants can afford to play a waiting game.
Walderscheid, along with Plank and Scott. Plank on the right and Scott on the left. Dave Jennings will now punt for New York from his own 20-yard line. Good snap, and he got it away, end over end, and Walderscheid makes the catch and is immediately stopped right there by Jones.
Good job of fielding that ball.
And Jones and Walderscheid have a few words.
Nice job of fielding that punt, though.
That was a very good job, because if that ball had hit, it could have gone another 15, 20 yards. So the Bears have very good field position.
Don't forget, on Monday, January 2nd, the Cotton Bowl. Undefeated Texas, 11-0 against the Irish of Notre Dame, 10-1, right here on CBS. 1st and 10 Bears on their own 43. Scott is wide right, Rather left. Avellini, bothered by Mendenhall, now throws no good. Both Robin Earl and James Scott were over there, but so were Kelly and Bryan and Carson and Mallory. So it's 2nd and 10 from the Bear 43. Still plenty of time. 10:56 left to go in the overtime. The Bears, of course, played one memorable overtime game this year, and that was when Minnesota elected to go for the touchdown instead of the field goals, and the difference of those 3 points sure loomed big until today.
Oh, didn't it?
2nd and 10 from the 43. A quick out to Scott, and Scott is going to keep moving before being knocked out of bounds. He picked up the first down.
Good speed there by Dennis Lick. Right tackle. Take a look at him. Look at number 7 to get out there in the flow. Dennis Lick, #1 draft choice. Look at him. Good job. Good speed there. Revy Sori there leading the way. Got to get about as much as he can out of it before being knocked out of bounds there by Harry Carson. Great. Glad it doesn't even look like he's played football today. Look all clean and everything.
So the Bears moved it to the Giant 45-yard line. 1st and 10. Rather is right. Scott is left. Latta on the right side. Rush by Mendenhall and a screen to Robin Earl, and he slipped and fell down. So Robin Earl, with a screen and some daylight, tried to stop and turn, and down he went.
He had received a good block from Noah Jackson, 65, and was about to cut back behind it. Probably would have had 5 or 10 yards, but that's the conditions of the field.
That Noah Jackson get out there and run, Kenny.
Oh, yeah.
I like to watch him play. He's fun.
Mendenhall late in getting back to the Giant huddle because he was so deep in the Bear backfield trying to harass Avellini. 2nd and 8 on the 43-yard line of New York. The Bears, missing a field goal that would have given them the wild card berth, are now trying to move it back in a similar position and cash it in. Rivera right and Scott left. Avellini, no good. He was throwing to Roland Harper, who was coming over the middle. The pass down and behind him. Brad Van Pelt, who's going to the Pro Bowl, playing a solid linebacking spot for New York. Avellini is now 12 for 20 for 116 yards. 1 interception. He has not been able to establish a running game. Pisarcik has.
We could be ready maybe for a draw because of the situation with Peyton on the draw, and they're using the 4-man rush.
Fiesta Bowl next Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Penn State and Arizona State. He got it to Walter Payton, and he is dragged down by Brian Kelly, and running for his life was an official who almost got swallowed up by the play, and that would be Al Conway. Payton, evidently with a little wind knocked out, slowly getting up.
Good rush by Mendenhall that time. I didn't think Avellini was going to be able to get the pass off. Take a look at it. Mendenhall with a good inside charge. Look at it. How you got that one off, I don't know. Look at the official right here now.
Watch out.
Get
watch
out
out.
of the way. What the?
Al Conway just did avoid being swallowed up. Going deep for the Giants now will be Jimmy Robinson and Bob Hammond. Bob Parsons on a 4th and 6, kicking from his own 45. Angling for the sideline. Robinson calling fair catch. It'll go into the end zone, and the Giants will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. So the Giants won the toss and couldn't move. The Bears missed a field goal and had an aborted second drive, and here we go again.
This Christmas, give the gift of learning and dreaming with the learning tools from Texas.
And once again, just about doing it on his own, carrying people. Ron Rydalch was on his back, and that's a load. Rydalch checks in at 257. Larry Zonka. And there the Bears trying once again to slow the Giants down and hope to get good field position. 8:48 left in the overtime, and a tie doesn't do the Bears any good at all. 2nd and 6 on the 24.
3-200.
motion is Marshall. And Zonka testing the right side. He is short of the first down. And Jack Bardee sweating it out. Boy, I guess he will remember that wobbly snap from center and the missed field goal in overtime if this one gets away.
The guy's got a lot to remember, brother. The job he did down in the World Football League with Orlando, where he held the team together for 19 weeks without any pay, no defectors, maybe one person that quit. What a job.
But he has everything in perspective. Here's a man that survived cancer, so he's got it all in perspective.
And the World Football League. Both.
3rd and 1 on the 29. Big play. Larry Zonka. And he has it. From our angle, he has picked up the first down. So this crowd, which was a surprise that there was anybody here since it's being televised locally, they're watching Zonka.
Oh, just too much power. Runs over Reeves.
Reeves hanging on to bring him down. But Zonka moves the ball just across the 30-yard line where it's 1st and 10 New York. Coder has rushed for 95, Zonka 92, and Payton 34. 1st and 10. Zonka, and he's out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. It reminds you of the 3rd quarter when Zonka and the Giants came out and Zonka did all the work, he and Spencer. Then he was rested for most of the 4th quarter, and here he goes in overtime. He's got 99 yards rushing.
And it's becoming critical for the Bears because now 6 minutes and 52 seconds remain. The Giants have the ball.
2nd and 5 from the 35-yard line. Slot right. Moorhead is inside Robinson. Shirk, tight end on the left side. And a fumble. Pisarcik, however, falls on it and then holds on for dear life. Myers and Rydal's there to squeeze him if he let it go again. Bob Avellini has guided his club close, but no cigar. And now he has to just stand and wait to see if he can get the ball back. 6 minutes and 13 seconds and counting. Spivey comes in, Hicks comes out. Bears looking pass now. 3rd and 9 from the 31. Robinson is left, Marshall right. Instead, Hammond into a crowd.
Well, it's easy enough to understand the New York thinking, though. They don't have to score. They can consider this a tie, a victory for them. Nothing at stake.
Well, you'd think at the end of the season like this, they'd want to win this football game.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but they're not going to take any chances. They got the clock working for them. They can play the role of spoilers against them and keep the Chicago team out of the playoffs.
5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the overtime. Dave Jennings will be punting from his own 25. Walterscheid, Plank, and Scott are deep for the Bears. And Walterscheid. Walterscheid is finally brought down by Ellenbogen.
I've never seen a punt that low. That looked like a pass.
So the Bears will put it in play with 5 minutes left.
This Christmas, give the gift of learning and dreaming with the learning tools from Texas Instruments. DataMan, with exciting math games and activities to open young minds to the wonder of numbers. And for high school students, the TI-30 helps them understand how math can build the beginning of a dream.
1st and 10 Bears on their own 46-yard line. Avellini out to Rather. And he got away. Brian Kelly finally brings him down. But Bo Rather not only made a great reception, he picked up another 10 yards, and there's a giant hurt on the play. It's Larry Mallory.
Oh, that was a fine play. Just a quick little old look-in pattern, quick post pattern. Rather took it in nice, passed directly on target.
35-yard pass completion, Avellini to Rather.
And sometimes you get the bear, and sometimes the bear gets you. Look at here, just a step away from breaking it for a touchdown.
Brian Kelly, otherwise he's gone.
And remember that play, that could loom bigger and bigger.
Larry Mallory shaken up on the play. He's a second-year man out of Tennessee State. He is another member of the Memphis team of the World Football League, coached by John McVay. Larry, you'll see, was hit not only by Rather, but also by Bill Bryant, number 21. Watch.
And that helped him maintain his balance. He was hit from both sides at the same time, and sometimes that equalizes, I don't know, the aerodynamics of it.
Well, he had no place to fall.
That's right, no place to fall, but go forward. A great effort by Bo Rather, who hasn't caught too many passes this year, but that was a big one. The Bears in good shape again on the 20-yard line, and all they have to do is maintain control, and they would hopefully kick a field goal.
1st and 10 from the Giant 20. Roland Harper is back in there with Walter Payton. And it'll be Roland Harper on the carry. And he gets inside the 15-yard line. Harper, bothered by the flu so much he was indeed a doubtful starter. Played as much as he could, then was rested in favor of Robin Earl. But now chips are on the line, and Harper is back in there with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the single overtime.
And somehow you got to feel like this is now or never for the Bears.
The Chicago Bears must win to be the wild card. They lose that spot if they wind up tied. 2nd and 4 from the 14. Roland Harper following Walter Payton to the 11-yard line. Greg Latta also down there trying to lead the way.
It's amazing how this whole football game, basically the Giants have dominated, except the overtime, and it's been all Bears. I don't think the Giants have gotten outside their 30-35-yard line. It's been all Chicago.
And somewhere down on the sidelines, number 16, Bob Thomas of the Chicago Bears, is practicing a kick, knowing that in a moment he might very well be called on to wind up the regular season successfully for Chicago.
And don't you think there's a man in Los Angeles that doesn't think about next week's game too, except Dion.
The Bears working with 2 tight ends now.
3rd and 1 from the 11. And Avellini on a keeper. So Avellini trying to keep for the first down, and it's close. And Bob Thomas alone with his thoughts.
It's very close for the first down. It looks like he made it by 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, they're going to bring the chains in and look again. No.
Oh, what happened to my magnifying glass?
No, it is
Johnny.
4th and
my
that
big
much.
mouth.
And here comes Bob Thomas. Bob Thomas is 25, and he's going on 30. 5'10", 179-pounder from Notre Dame.
Walter Payton doing most of the shoveling up there, getting the area ready.
And again, we'll see about the snap from center. Dan Neal, number 52, is the center.
They didn't call timeout this time, the Giants. Now they have.
With 3 minutes and 6 seconds left. Time to regroup.
He better think seriously about getting him a Henry, something put on his head. Got to have a hat, Jack.
The ball is on the New York 10-yard line. Scraping at the dirt, trying to clear things off. Thomas has had a rough time. He had just been frustrated moments ago. He's had to live with that for about 6 minutes.
He wants to measure it off precisely because Thomas does not have the highest trajectory, you know, being a sidewinder, and sometimes his ball doesn't come right up like the normal conventional kicker. So they've been working to get the exact precise distance to make the maximum effort of amount of time that they have to throw the ball, to kick the ball.
Oh, his kicking's not that scientific, Johnny.
Well, I think it is. He's missed a couple already.
They will spot the ball on the 18-yard line. So it's a 28-yard field goal attempt by Bob Thomas.
Oh.
No snap. No snap. Avellini passing to Buffon. And it is no good. He threw the ball to Doug Buffon. It was not a completion or a fumble.
Look at Noah.
So call Clyde Powers back.
This is unbelievable.
And it happened again to the Bears.
Dan Neal is the center. That's 2 in a row. It's been a tough day for him because the snap was low again.
Watch Avellini as he tries to get the handle. The snap is low again. He can't control it at all. That's a hard job Avellini's got. Not a lot of people know that.
His instinct is right, though. Try and do something with the ball. He throws it to Doug Buffon.
And Buffon does not catch it. It looked like he had it, but he never had possession. A big hit taking him down. And then Clyde Powers thought it was a loose ball and picked it up. 2 minutes and 59 seconds. The Bears have missed 2 game-winning field goals. 1st and 10 from the 10 for New York. Zonka and Spencer. And it's Zonka. All alone down on the Bear bench, picking up a parka to put over his head is Bob Thomas.
Don't you know George Allen's going crazy right about now?
This is, nobody could come out of this being a normal person after this. This is unbelievable.
The ball is on the Giant 13-yard line, 2nd and 7. We have 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Robinson wide right, Moorhead in a slot, Shirk on the left side. Hammond is in there with Zonka. Play action fake and a pass to Hammond. And Hammond slipping and sliding and goes down at about the 17-yard line. Jack Pardee, 1976 NFC Coach of the Year. In the 58 years of the existence of the Chicago Bears, he has the honor of being the 8th coach. He succeeded Abe Gibron in 1974. He was then the youngest coach in the NFL. He is now going on the oldest coach of the year.
This Christmas, give the gift of learning and dreaming with the learning tools from Texas Instruments. DataMan, with exciting math games and activities to open young minds to the wonder of numbers. And for high school students, the TI-30 helps them understand how math can build the beginning of a dream. The TI-30 and DataMan, in the tradition of the little professor, from Texas Instruments, innovators in personal electronics.
America, you've been changing.
Coming, going, changing, growing, the things that make up life.
Why is Bank AmeriCard becoming Visa? To keep up with you.
You're traveling, you're moving, you're taking more from life.
Today you need money that's good around the corner, all across America, and in 117 countries around the world. That's why Bank AmeriCard is becoming Visa, the most widely recognized card in the world. Visa, we're keeping up with you.
That is Bob Thomas walking all alone on the sidelines for Chicago. 2 low snaps from center have foiled his plans to be a field goal kicking hero. The Giants and the Bears, 9-9, 2 minutes left. And for the Giants, of course, this becomes a big play. 3rd and 2. If they get a first down to keep it, that might mean they'll hold on to the tie. Hammond and Zonka. And it'll be a play-action fake to Hammond and a flip to Robinson. And he apparently went out of bounds after making the first down. But there's a flag on the play, so hold everything. Personal foul and a clip against the Giants.
What a break.
So they had the first down, but the clip will nullify it. And the Bears, although they are in a treacherous spot now, only 1:55 left. They might have seen the game go a glimmering had the Giants picked up the first down.
Pretty good little imaginative call by the Giants that time, too, when everybody in the stadium knew they were going to run the ball up the middle to try to get the first.
So Mikolajczyk, number 62, putting a clip on Doug Buffon.
Clipping number 62, offense.
So Mikolajczyk is guilty of the infraction. We have 1:55 left in the overtime. A couple of final scores will pop up as the Giants hold. Atlanta overwhelmed New Orleans 35-7. There you see Tampa Bay winning 2 in a row over the Cardinals 17-7. Philadelphia shut out the Jets 27-0. The ball is on the 10-yard line, 3rd and 10. And they go to Hammond. And Hammond is loose. But he does not get the first down. He is finally bragged down by Ellis, number 48. Had Ellis not gotten him, he might have made it. But Ellis got him, and the Giants will now have to punt. And the Bears have just enough time.
The Bears are letting the clock go. Oh, now they finally called the timeout with 1:35, which was a wise decision. They had 2 left, so they still have 1 and could possibly get good field position because the Giants are pretty much backed up into their own territory.
And they have used all their timeouts. So going back is Len Walderscheid. He'll have company, Clemens and Plank and Scott. And John McVeigh, a clipping penalty, ruined his chances for holding onto the ball. And he looks up to read 1:35 left in the game. The Giants trying to act the spoiler, and the Bears trying to break the hearts of the onlooking Washington Redskins. But remember, a tie is the same as losing as far as the Bears are concerned. Someone said a tie is like kissing your sister. It's a lot worse than that. Dave Jennings will be punting from his 10-yard line. And he hung it. Walderscheid making the catch and fumble. Loose ball. I think the Bears got it back. That's the second time Walderscheid fumbled, but again he was saved. It looked like Don Reeves saved him this time. Gary Campbell saved him the last time.
What a heck of a job by Reeves, too. Good effort.
So they'll spot the ball on the Giant 45-yard line. 1 minute and 22 seconds left to go. Houston leading Cincinnati by 5. 1st and 10 on the Giant 45. Avellini on to Greg Latta. And Latta hammered down, but Van Pelt had to hold on because Big Greg slugged him a little.
The clock is still running.
1:06, John Mendenhall hurting a little bit. And we're down to 1 minute left. 2nd and 9 on the 44. Avellini down the middle to Latta, tripped up by Mallory. And the tight end makes another big reception to the 25-yard line of New York. And there it is. And don't forget, this time there is no luxury of just holding on to the ball. For the Bears, they either score in the remaining 42 seconds or they come up a buck short. And we're going to have a minute or so to conjure the problems. 9-9.
Hello, everybody. This is Lowell Thomas. Alaska. Tough on people, tough on auto parts. So we took Motorcraft heavy-duty batteries, oil filters, and tune-up parts to Alaska, testing them in 50 GM, Chrysler, and Ford cars and trucks. After 6 months of Alaskan pipeline country, less than 1% of the parts couldn't take the punishment. No matter what you drive, wherever you drive, ask for Motorcraft auto parts from Ford. Tested tough in Alaska. So long.
They don't have a timeout left.
Okay, 42 seconds left to go. Bob Thomas, who must be somewhat of a doubting Thomas, at least for the moment. Things have gone against him of late, but in a moment, it looks like he'll be center stage for perhaps the last time of the day. And there's a big final. Houston knocks off Cincinnati, and they go in the river. 1st and 10 on the Giant 25. Right. Jack Pardee, I think, in reading his lips, said no timeouts. He got away from Larry Mallory at the 24-yard line. 28 seconds. No timeouts left. And here comes Bob Thomas. 23. And now the officials saying roll the clock. Avellini. And the snap from Neal.
Am I happy for him?
It was almost inhuman down on the field while everybody else is celebrating. Reeve Sori face down on the Giant 15-yard line, slowly being helped up. Sori totally worn out, and Thomas being mobbed by the center, Dan Neal, who had 2 low snaps but not a third.
Said, you bailed me out, Tom. You bailed me out. I would have been the GOAT.
So our heartiest congratulations to the Bears, who were lucky to get into overtime with those drop touchdown passes. To the Bears, who were foiled twice when Bob Thomas was unable to get the winning field goal. And finally, Congratulations to the Bears, who did it with 4 seconds left in the overtime. Our condolences to a great Washington Redskin team that lost the only way they could be beaten, by standing on the sideline, and because this same New York Giant team had beaten them twice. This is Vin Scully for Alex Hawkins, for John Morris, for all of us at the Meadowlands. It was quite a ball game. Let's go to Brent Musburger.
What an emotional
Brent, it's Dallas, December 26th, Chicago, Dallas, and I can't wait.
Neither can I. The Bears have got to be 4 touchdown favorites this time.
Forget it. It's not going to happen.
You guys must be out of your mind.
Think,
Let's bring the Greek in. All right, Jimmy, let's now set it. It is Dallas hosting Chicago the day after Christmas, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. How would you handicap that game?
Dallas a strong touchdown.
Well,
a strong touchdown? What is that, like 8 points, Greek?
Yes.
All right.
You said it, I didn't.
I knew I liked you all along.
The second game that day will be 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and it will match the Los Angeles Rams against the Minnesota Vikings. And how would you make that one, Jimmy?
That's the same thing.
Okay. Listen, I want to say one thing, because we're having a lot of fun because of Chicago-Dallas. There's a team I want to bring up right now, because I know they are as disappointed as the Giants, and that would be the Washington Redskins. Year in and year out, that team gives us more thrills, I think, than any team in football. And I consider George Allen one of the finest coaches in the game to be able to do what he does with a group of veterans and the way they hung in there. My hat's off to you guys, and I know how tough it was to sit there today and finally bow out of the playoffs because Chicago was able to win it in the 4 seconds. With 4 seconds left in overtime, and Irv, I know you second that.
Real quickly, Brent, I've watched George Allen very closely over the years. I played for him out in Los Angeles, and in my estimation, this year by far has been his greatest accomplishment as a head coach. That team coming into the season, preseason, all the way through the regular season, into the playoffs, people second-guessed them all year long, held them together, and they were just 4 seconds short.
And there isn't a coach in football that won't tell you that George Allen did the most magnificent job of any coach in football this year.
Jimmy, you sure?
May I third that, or fourth that, I should.
Let us take you around the league and get you up to date on all the scores and keep going. We've got highlights, and we'll try to go back to the Meadowlands. There, of course, the final score again is Chicago beats the New York Giants 12-9. Now, Atlanta set a record this year. Fewest points allowed in a 14-game schedule as we bow out of the 14-game schedule. They gave up only 129 overall. Fewest touchdowns, 15. They beat New Orleans 35-7. Tampa Bay and St. Louis, 17-7 the final score. A very modest winning streak for the Buccaneers. They bow out with 2 straight, and the Cardinals in on a sour note. Philadelphia all over the New York Jets, 27-0. The Jets really were not in that game today. And Cincinnati has also bowed out of the playoffs. As they lose to Houston, it means that the Pittsburgh Steelers are in, and the Steelers will be out in Denver next Saturday. And Jimmy, how would you handicap that one?
Just a field goal in favor of Denver.
All right, Green Bay beats San Francisco 16-14. Well, that one's still got a couple of minutes to go. Packers ahead by 2 in the 4th quarter. Now, Dallas leading Denver. That's going to be a whale of a game. 7-0 in the 1st quarter. Both teams heading for the playoffs. Cleveland leading Seattle. 6-0 is the score there in the 1st quarter. Other games that are already underway. Oakland beating Kansas City 3-0. And we also have Baltimore and New England. Jimmy, you told me, though, that Baltimore had been moving the ball on that Patriot defensive unit. San Diego and Pittsburgh, again, it doesn't matter. If Pittsburgh loses, they are still going to the playoffs. They are in right now, regardless of what happens in that team. Now, let us turn our attention back towards that sudden death game and take a look at some of the earlier action. What an amazing contest that unfolded in the Meadowlands with that horrible weather as a backdrop. This was Thomas's first field goal, put Chicago ahead way back in the 1st quarter. And also in the 1st quarter, Dinella, a 38-yarder, tied it at 3. Walter Payton was really stopped today as much by the weather, but I'll tell you, you've also got to take your hats off to the Giants' defensive unit. That was a strong part of that team. Now here is Zonka. He had his best day of the season. What a big bull he was. Dinella got a 19-yarder, and the Giants were ahead of the Bears by a score of 6-3. Big play right here. Avellini dropping it off perfectly to Scott. He got to the 11-yard line. Then Jack Pardee went with one of his big backs. It was Robin Earl, and he got the touchdown. Now, George Martin was able to block this extra point, so it was 9-6, and that set the stage for the end of the ball game. The Giants working against the clock. Pisarcik, the quarterback. Coder getting to the 29-yard line. Time running out, 41 seconds. Danella has got it tied at 9 apiece. We go to overtime. Thomas can win it. Off. And so it went. Again, it was Thomas. Only this time, the snap was low, and Thomas never got a chance to even attempt the field goal. So here is his third attempt with time running out. It is up, and Chicago has gone back to the playoffs for the first time since 1963 when they won the championship. Interestingly enough, Paul Hornung called Irv Cross after that second miss, and he said when you're a field goal kicker in conditions like that, you've got to stay back until the ball is down just perfect. He said Thomas rushed it on Avellini. Avellini didn't have a chance. He said it wasn't a bad snap. That's the voice of authority, Paul Hornung. And the NFL Today will continue on CBS in just a moment.
The best-selling American-made small car versus Japan's best sellers.
Hello, I'm Jackie Stewart at Indianapolis, where the best-selling Japanese cars competed head-to-head against the best-selling small car made in America, Ford Pinto. In 2 driving tests certified by the United States Auto Club, which car performed best? Let's find out. In the truck passing test, a 78 Ford Pinto moved out and passed, quicker than a Datsun B210. Passed quicker than Toyota Corolla. Passed quicker than Honda Civic. In the highway entrance test, which car accelerated to the highway speed first? Pinto. Faster than Datsun. Faster than Toyota. Faster than Honda. And 78 Pintos now have added features and are sticker priced lower than last year. Check out the complete line of Ford Pintos yourself at your local Ford dealers. Another better idea from Ford.
We have the word from the Greek that New England is now moving, and I've also got some final stats on Peyton. 15 for 47 yards, and Irv, he winds up at 18:52. You know, that's the only thing about a miserable day like this. I wish he would have had a good shot, and I think the Giant defense probably would have preferred.
You're in the playoffs. Do we have to hear this? Now he's complaining about Peyton.
Well, you know, Peyton's a darter. You know, he changes direction very well. He's a very quick runner as well as being a power runner. And on fields like we had today, of course, where he couldn't get his footing, obviously he was just nullified his ability.
Right now, let's go back to the Meadowlands. Johnny Morris is there with Jack Pardee. Johnny?
Thank you, Brent. Jack, congratulations. For the first time since 1963, the Chicago Bears are in the playoffs, and I imagine you went through a few heart stoppers down there.
This seemed today like it was the last 17 years all in one day, and you know, the conditions and really a full 15-minute overtime period. What a beautiful win. The guys sticking together the way they did and having a lot of adversity and beating the conditions and pulling a win out, and it certainly wasn't a classic, but gosh, what a big win for us. Everybody's talking about a thrilled club.
What was going through your mind? You missed those 2 key field goals. You had trouble with the center, the snap, and everything. Everything went wrong.
Well, you know, we did. The ball, Dan Neal going in cold and the ball a little bit wet and coming off of the ice. It's hard to get the kicking operation down on a day like this. And, you know, each time the field position was set up right, and, you know, one of them had to work. Thank goodness we had enough time, enough chances to get him.
Did you change your game plan at all because of the field conditions? Walter didn't carry that much.
Well, a little bit. You know, there's just so many ways you can run a fullback or halfback straight ahead. Of course, that's about all the Giants needed to do with Zonka, and he'd hit in there and hit a pile and keep his feet and bound and get a few yards. But you just can't make any yardage going sideways on a day like this.
You saw the Giants drop a couple of touchdown passes. You must, when they dropped them, you must have figured it was fate that it's going to be on your side today.
Well, I knew it was going to be our day. I didn't know it was going to have to take so long to get it. No, I believe in, I've told you many times, you follow us, I believe in the team we have. You know, they can take the pressure. We're not a classic team by any stretch of imagination, but we've sure got a bunch of fighters.
You may be thinking about the Dallas Cowboys now.
I haven't too much here in the last few minutes. We're just thrilled to still be going, and we'll get ready for the Cowboys. Tell the enthusiasm our squad has. They're just, you know, they'll get ready.
Jack, where do you think the key was for the season? Was it that victory, that last-second victory over Kansas City when you were 3-5?
Well, we were out of it. Hadn't we not pulled off last 10-second pass, Bob Avellini getting it to Greg Latta, we wouldn't be, you know, our season would be over right now. So that had to be a key play.
Now, Walter Payton didn't set the record, but nobody's worrying about that right now, are they?
No, you know, the important thing, as we said all along, was getting the playoffs, and we're there. On a field like this, there's no way really any runner is going to make 200 yards on a day like we had today.
I know you admire George Allen, the Washington coach. Of all people that you have to beat out, it was your former coach.
Well, it was, and I just told the team, I think a lot of a statement he made a couple weeks ago that this time of year to win a game like this, you don't do it with talent, you do it with character, and that's just what I think our team has.
I'm looking to see if we have any other plays. Here's Bob Thomas. Jack, say hello to Bob Thomas, your kicker.
Already have. What a play. Good to see you.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bob, were you a little bit frustrated there during that overtime period?
Well, Johnny, the first thing to suffer out there is the kicking game, both kicking off and field goals, and it was a frustrating day. You know, they got a blocked extra point, or it might never have gone into overtime. I hit the bar, and I slid on that second field goal I tried, and I slipped, and the ball hooked and hit the bar. And then that 40-yarder, you know, I guess it was 40 yards. I couldn't see any line markers. That went left, so it was frustrating. I was just hoping to get one more chance. I didn't know that the chance would come with no time on the clock, you know, and you have to sit there and hurry it. But Dan Neal did a great job of snapping, and Avellini, who's held all this week, put the ball down, and thank God it went through.
What about the next to the last one when the snap was bad? This was the one you thought you were going to win the game on. All of a sudden it went up for grabs. What goes through your mind in that kind of a situation?
Well, the thing is, you try to make anything work. A lot of times when there's a botched up snap, nobody watches the kicker, you know, so there might be if Bob would have decided to throw to me, and if the unlikely chance that I caught it, you know, maybe we had a touchdown. So what I tried to do is roll the same way as Bob was going and either attempt to make a block or maybe he'd throw me the ball.
Okay, Bob, thanks a lot. Stick around because we have Bob Avellini, the man who helped. Come on in here, Bob. The man from Long Island. This was a great place for you to come through with a victory.
Oh, I tell you, it took us a while, but it was at the third or fourth time we tried it from there. And I tell you, finally that last one worked. And the best thing about it was maybe we did it real quick without thinking about it. We just did what came naturally. And the other times they called timeouts, so we had a little trouble getting the thing off.
Well, when you had the problems with the first two and then thinking about at the end for the last one, did you have time to say anything? Did you say anything that we're not going to do what we did the last two times?
No, no, because I guess the first two times really didn't work, whatever we said. So this time we just kept quiet, and Bob put it right through the middle.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think the key was for the season for your team, Bob?
Oh, Johnny, I don't know. Right now, after an emotional victory like that, your mind doesn't work at all. I tell you, you don't know what's going on, and you come off the field, and I tell you right now, we just want to savor this victory for tonight, maybe tomorrow, and then, boy, we can look forward to the playoffs, which hasn't been said in Chicago for a long time.
And you're going to get rid of your beard now that you made the playoffs?
Johnny, it's going to stick on till hopefully we win the Super Bowl.
Okay, good luck, Bob, and both Bobs. You did a great job. The Bears are in the playoffs for the first time since 1963. Now back to you, Brent.
All right, Johnny, thank you very much. And again, a reminder about the playoff schedule, Phyllis. It is a week from tomorrow on CBS. Both of the NFC games, the day after Christmas. And the first game, the Chicago game against the Dallas Cowboys, will start at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. So that would be 1 o'clock in Chicago. Then the second game will start at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, and it will be Los Angeles against Minnesota. That will be 3 o'clock out in Los Angeles. One playoff spot remains open at this hour, and New England leads Baltimore, the Greek has just told me, by a score of 7-0. If New England can hold on, then Miami will go into the playoffs. But if Baltimore comes back, then, of course, they would go. New England does not have a chance, but that has to be an extremely angry football team. This brings to a close our regular season coverage. Jimmy the Greek, maybe I should start with you. Maybe you want to pick one team to win a Super Bowl, or a final thought for everybody?
Well, you know who I'm going to pick. Oakland. Let's face it.
Irv, who do you like?
I'm not going to really pick a Super Bowl winner, Brent. I think it's been such an exciting season this year. I get thrilled just watching any good football played at any time, but I do know this, that the Super Bowl we're going to see is going to be the best we've ever had.
Phyllis, do I have to ask you which team you think might go on and win the Super Bowl?
All I'm going to say is I've been doing this job for 3 years now with 3 terrific guys, and if this certain team that I'm talking about gets to the Super Bowl this year, it could be a big, happy day for everyone in Texas.
All right, a marvelous way to wrap it up for all of us. We hope that you've enjoyed the regular season. And again, a reminder, the NFC playoffs on CBS a week from tomorrow at 2 and 6 Eastern Time. Dallas and Chicago in Game 1, Los Angeles and Minnesota in Game 2. Should be a whale of a day. For Jimmy the Greek and Irv Cross and Phyllis George, I'm Brent Musburger, and we certainly hope that you have enjoyed Sudden Death Overtime on the NFL Today on CBS.
The NFL Today is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer, who invite you to see their better ideas for 78, including Fairmont, the Ford in your future. Avis, the We Try Harder car rental company. Black & Decker, when America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker. And by AC Delco, quality automotive parts for quality motoring. AC Delco. The NFL Today is a presentation of CBS Sports. The teenager arrested as a thief. Is he still out on the street waiting to mug you again? That story and more when 60 Minutes moves to 8, 7 Central Time, tonight only on CBS.